Hi everyone, welcome. Super honored to be here. My name is Charlie Tide. We just have a short amount of time together today, so I'm just going to get onto it. I'll start with who I am and why I'm teaching the nature pillar. First and foremost, I'm a mama. So I spend most of my days here in subtropical New South Wales in Australia, rewilding and spending time with my daughter. In that, I'm also a passionate earth educator, a weaver, and some would say a deep ecologist. I'll be sharing a little bit on how I communicate with nature, offerings and rituals you can practice, and also a little bit about earth-based leadership. So, just maybe 5 days ago, I got back from a beautiful gathering called Luminate. It was really special. There was about 300 workshops, and the one that I made it to was really beautiful by a deep uncle of mine, Eshua Bolton, a Marawari man. He shared with me something that I feel to start the class with. We are dirt animated, and now is the time for sharing. With that, I would like to thank the traditional custodians of this land I stand on, the Bunjalung people, past and present. I would like to thank my own ancestors, past and present. And I honor all plant, animal, and mineral kingdoms for their offerings in this realm. Thank you. I'm grateful. So now is the time for sharing. For we are the forest speaking, we are the earth singing, and what we have to share is important, especially to each other during this time of great transition, great change. Some of the practices and perspectives that I'm going to be sharing about today come from the deep ecology movement. So deep ecology essentially looks upon the ecosystem as an interrelated system. It's changing the perspective as opposed to looking at the earth as really an economic gain or something to be plundered as a resource. We're reframing our psyche. We're choosing to decolonize our mind and look at this richly abundant wellspring of beauty, of love, of connection. So with that, we're going to start with the first practice, the offering. Now, when you come into any land is sacred. It is important to connect through an offering, through an intention. That can be an intention, it can be a word, or it can be like more of an extensive ritual. A relatively simple practice that I'm going to be sharing can be grown into an altar, a mandala, whatever you feel in that moment. So in many indigenous cultures, one of the offerings is tobacco. Now, tobacco is incredibly sacred. It's a spirit communicator. So if you have this, you can offer this. Organic, of course. One practice that happens in my homeland of Oz that I find myself doing quite a lot is that we take dirt or sand, whether we're near the ocean or in the forest, and we hold that, infusing that with our essence, infusing that with our intention. And then we offer it back. This is a form of primal energetic communication. It is essentially saying, I'm here, I honor you, I come in peace. And you can speak these words aloud or quietly. Now, another thing besides an offering or this practice of imbuing your essence with the earth is that you can dance on the land. I have a quote here from Major Muji Sumner. He shares this: when you dance on the land, you're letting Mother Earth know you still care about her. This is about restoring the energy, dancing the spirit back into this country, and dancing the spirit back into ourselves. So plant and animal communication is our next component. And we're going to start this by doing a quantum connection practice. This is really simple. I won't even explain it. So we're going to start by rubbing our hands together. Rub. Keep rubbing them. Keep rubbing them. Close your eyes. Okay. Now open up your hands. Feel all that is. Feel the warmth there. Feel the buzzing. This is connection. And what is communication but connection? We communicate by opening up to all that is around us. And this can be done through very simple acts. It can be done through walking mindfully, it can be done through deep breathing, through singing. Whatever your personal practice is, this is the time to bring that in, to come into deep connection. I have another quote here. You are the sun and the rain, the water and the plants, the birds and the animals. There is no such thing as nature apart from you and me. You are nature, I am nature, just as you are me and I am you. It's a quote by John Linden. So we're coming back into that very principle of interconnectedness, that we are not separate. We will never be, and we can never, ever, ever try to be. It just won't work. This principle of interconnectedness is one of the major principles that consistently guides my practice. It's what nature connection is all about. So, whether you live urban or rural, these practices can be applied daily. I like to walk slowly when I walk outside to get my mail. I like to look up at the canopy and thank that canopy, or bless the sun upon rising. All of this is harnessing the gratitude that is always there. And in a way, it's helped me massively deal with the harder emotions of life, which are grief, which are sadness, which is a frustration, which happens so much in our quickly changing, chaotic world that we live in. So we have the innate ability to communicate with all plants and animals, and it is our sacred right to remember that. We recreate that map through practice. So with that, I'm going to go to respectful harvesting. Now, one of the reasons why we communicate and offer to nature is because we want to honor her when we receive from her. If you come across her medicine on your journey, you see a plant growing that you want to pick, it's always helpful to be prepared. So I often carry just a small bush knife. You can carry secateurs in a basket if you're really prepared and you know you're going out to forage. You want to keep your pack light. It makes it much easier when you're getting home with the amount that, maybe you found a lot, maybe you found a little. I want to say, only take what you need. We often get excited, and I'm guilty of this. I mean, given my last statement, I've been known to get excited and bring home like a bunch of mugwort that I don't end up using. And so, to be respectful, I would say never take more than 1/3 of the population, allowing that plant to be able to regrow and making sure that other people, other animals, and that plant can thrive. Be gentle and tread softly. That's really important. Plants are living, and we could step on some really beautiful plants on the way, but just tread lightly. And more often than not, that plant will be fine. It will bounce back. But This is why I recommend going in your bare feet. Your boots can kill many plants. Thank the plant completely. Honor that plant for all that it has given you. And listen for any messages. See if, once you open up, whether that plant actually wants to say something. And if you feel called to, if it aligns, leave an offering. So I'll just share a last safety tip as well. If you don't know the plant, look it up, double check. So these few simple practices I've shared with you today, I hope can connect you just a little bit deeper when you go climbing a tree or for a walk to soothe your nervous system, or harvesting plants, harvesting your medicine, or taking your kid out for a walk so they can chill out. There's so many ways we can go ever deeper, and I'm just creating like a small part of the map. So let this be inspiration for the work you do in the world. However you work in the world, let that beauty of nature infuse in you and let you breathe that into the world. For me, earth-based leadership is about knowing your way in the world and how it is always coming back to earth, knowing where you came from and knowing where you go back to. For me, I don't think I really cared about leadership until I realized the state that the earth was in. And as much as I trust her completely, I feel to speak for her. By grounding deeply into this way, I think a greater source of wisdom and peace is ever available. Having her on your side is a really beautiful gift. It's a blessing. So consider her a wellspring, ever there, ever abundant, ever able to share her sacred ways. I'll end just with a small quote. We often forget that we are nature. Nature is not something separate from us. So when we have our connection, when we say that we have lost our connection to nature, we have only lost connection to ourselves. That is by one of my favorite earth-based artists, Andy Goldsworthy. I want to say thank you so much for listening to this small amount. I could only go so deep on such extensive topics. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Thank you to everyone here that made it. It's really powerful that you feel called to this. Keep going, keep enjoying, keep embracing. Thank you to Shayna, Gogo, and Luna for all of their individual contributions to this council. If you want to see more of the work that I do, you can visit my web space at www.wildandkindred.com. And I also run workshops throughout Australia on nature connection, rewilding, naturecraft. So yeah, get in contact. Thank you so much.